Hello everyone. Welcome to Super Hits Movies. Today, I'm going to explain the movie The Bad Shepherd 2024. The story begins with a wounded girl who is heading somewhere. She looks very nervous. She carries a gun and a bag full of money, which she keeps glancing at nervously. At one point, her car gets a flat tire. She takes the bag and the gun and starts walking. Then a car approaches from behind, strikes her, and kills her. In that car are 4 friends. They are on their way to a cabin for a hunting trip. Terrified, they get out of the vehicle and see the girl's body. They don't know what to do. Paul notices the bag of money and, greedy, imagines how their lives could change. The other 3 friends are frightened. A dead woman lies before them. John suggests they take the money and go to the police, but Paul objects. He fears the police will seize the money and tie them to a murder investigation. John doesn't like the idea, but 2 of the others side with Paul. They don't want to go to jail, and they want the money to change their lives. John's friend asks what they should do with the body. Paul replies that they should drive to the cabin, bury the body somewhere in the woods, then split the money and forget about it. So they load the girl's body and the bag into their car and prepare to leave. Suddenly, a police car appears and stops nearby. The officers are actually searching for the missing girl. Paul tells everyone to be quiet so the police won't suspect them. The officer examines the abandoned car and then starts questioning the 4 men. Paul lies, saying they didn't see anyone. Their car had suddenly broken down, so they stopped to help. The officer notes the car looks new and asks how it could have failed. Paul repeats that it just stopped without warning. The officer asks to look inside. Terrified that the dead body will be discovered, Paul panics. He grabs the girl's gun, points it at the police officer, and orders the others to stay quiet. The officer and 1 friend plead with him to put the gun down, but Paul fires, and the policeman falls dead. The other 3 friends are stunned. They can't believe Paul has killed the officer. Now, with a dead cop and a dead girl, one of them says they must decide quickly what to do next. Paul says they should leave the officer's body at the scene so the police will think the missing girl killed him and fled. After that, the 4 friends get into their car and drive toward the cabin. When they arrive, the place is completely deserted, surrounded by dense forest. John is deeply disturbed by what has happened, so he keeps quiet and avoids talking to anyone. 2 of the friends begin digging a pit to bury the body, while Paul starts counting the money to divide it equally among them. Meanwhile, John calls his wife and says, "I've been trying to call you all morning. Why didn't you answer?" His wife replies that she's fine and assures him she'll be waiting for him to return soon after the hunting trip. John tells her not to worry. Elsewhere, another man named Sidney arrives at the spot where the girl's car is parked. He looks inside but finds nothing. Then he notices blood stains on the ground and quickly realizes where he needs to go. He drives straight to the friend's cabin, where they are in the middle of burying the body. Seeing him, the 4 friends are shocked. Paul demands to know who he is. Sidney calmly replies, "You have my bag. I've come to take it. Give it to me and I'll let you go." The friends are confused, wondering how Sidney managed to find them. Paul hands a gun to one of his companions and tells him to search Sidney. But Sidney has no weapon. He repeats firmly, "Return my bag, and I will leave." Paul presses him further. "How did you get here? Does anyone else know about us?" Sidney responds, "I don't know about anyone else, but I know everything about you. In fact, there are many things I know. That's why I'm giving you advice. Give me my bag, and I'll leave quietly." The friends are unsettled by his calmness. He isn't angry, nor is he threatening them. Suddenly, they hear noises coming from the forest. They assume Sidney's men must be out there. So John and one of his friends take their guns and head into the woods to investigate. Meanwhile, Paul, still not trusting Sidney, drags him down to the basement and ties him up. In the forest, John and his friend stumble upon a trap clearly meant for catching animals. As they inspect it, they suddenly spot a man. Seeing the guns in their hands, the man panics and runs away. They catch the man and bring him back to the cabin. Paul demands, "Where are your companions?" The man, trembling, replies through tears, "I don't know what you mean. My house is nearby. Please let me go to my wife and daughter." "I didn't do anything." He is clearly terrified. John studies him and says, "Look at his condition. I don't think he knows anything." But Paul replies, "He saw us. If he goes to the police, we'll end up in jail. We'll have to kill him." Reluctantly, John's friend says, "I'll do it." The man pleads for his life, and John's friend cannot bring himself to pull the trigger. Paul forces the gun into his hand and compels him to shoot. In helplessness, John's friend fires. The man dies. John's friend stands in shock. He has just killed someone. John prepares to bury the bodies. Paul approaches Sydney, who says, "You killed an innocent man. You knew he was innocent, and now you enjoy hunting people. You're not doing this just to survive. You're addicted to it like a drug." Sydney's words leave Paul stunned. When John returns inside, Sydney warns them one last time, "Give me my money back, and I'll leave." One of Paul's friends suggests, "If we give him his share, there shouldn't be a problem." But Paul refuses. Sydney insists, "I don't want to share. Either I take everything or I walk away." Enraged, Paul presses a gun to Sydney's head. Sydney remains calm and, in a soft voice, says, "You can't kill me. Tell me, why don't you tell your friends about California?" Paul is stunned. "How do you know that?" he asks. John demands, "What happened in California?" At first Paul avoids the subject, but then he admits, "Last year, on a business trip to California, I met a girl. She came with me willingly. The next morning she threatened to go to the police and say I forced her unless I gave her the money she demanded. After a long argument, I lost my temper and killed her. I buried her body somewhere. Paul has already committed murder." When they hear this, Paul's friends refuse to believe he could do such a thing. Paul insists, "I was scared. I did it to save my life." Meanwhile, John's friend, enraged, throws a gun at Paul and shouts, "I killed a man because of you, and I regret it." Paul replies that the you volunteered to do it, which only angers him more. Taking advantage of the chaos, Paul snatches the gun from him and strikes him. John and the other friend try to restrain Paul, but when he won't stop, John's friend fires a shot into Paul's head, knocking him unconscious. When Paul regains consciousness, he finds himself in the basement with Sydney. Upstairs, John and the other friend argue about the money. John says, "We'll hide this money somewhere in the woods until we can figure this out. Since this bag came into our lives, we've lost our humanity." In the basement, Sydney taunts Paul, "Your friend took the money and left. You're being excluded from the plan." Enraged, Paul chases after John, but John's friend shoots at him again, and Paul falls. Believing Paul might be dead, John's friend returns to the basement and breaks down in tears. Sydney snaps at him, "What good is crying now? You didn't want to kill that man, yet you did. You shot your friend. Do you think crying will undo your crime?" Elsewhere, John hides the money inside a hollow tree in the forest. When Paul finally opens his eyes, he quietly hides behind another tree. His shoulder wound from the bullet had spared his life. Now he realizes his so-called friends have turned against him. Sydney asks John's friend, "Do you really trust John?" He answers, "Yes, I trust John." Sydney replies, "You plan to spend your life with this money, don't you? Let me tell you, this money never helps anyone." The friend snaps, "Shut up." Sydney then warns, "Give me my money and I'll let you go alive." But no one listens. When John starts returning to the cabin, Paul limps up to him, forcing a gun into his hand. "Take me to the bag or I'll shoot you," Paul demands. John drops his own gun and says, "I'm tired of all this. If you want the money, I'll take you there." Instead of leading Paul to the stash, John brings him back to the area where the traps are set. Paul's foot gets caught in one of the snares, and he screams in pain. But John grabs his gun and runs away without helping. He rushes back to the cabin and tells the others everything. Hearing this, John's friend protests. "Paul is our friend. We can't let him die like this." Sydney interrupts. "You still have a chance. Give me my money." When Paul's friend starts threatening Sydney again, Sydney replies, "I know everything about you. How you're betraying your friends." Before Sydney can say anything more, Paul's friend shoots him in the head. Suddenly, a strange sound begins to echo around them. The sound pierces their ears so badly that they all scream in pain. After a while, they head toward the spot where John had hidden the money. On the way, Paul spots them and quietly follows behind. Along the path, Paul finds John's gun and keeps it with him. Moving further, John suddenly asks Paul's friend, "Are you hiding something from me?" His friend admits, "Yes, and please forgive me. It's about me and your wife." Hearing this, John is filled with rage. "I treated you so well, and yet you both betrayed me. This was going on for a long time, but you never told me," he shouts. Enraged, John points his gun at him and fires, but deliberately misses. "We'll take the money and leave. After that, I never want to see your face again." Just then, Sydney opens his eyes again. He's alive, which means he isn't human. They all reach the tree where John had hidden the money. John's friend suggests, "Now we should go find Paul." But Paul's friend scoffs. "Forget Paul. He must be dead by now." The moment he says this, Paul appears and shoots him dead, revealing he had been watching them all along. Shocked, John and his remaining friend duck behind the tree to hide. John's friend calls out to Paul, "You're our friend. We were coming back for you. Look, I'm dropping my gun and coming out. You drop yours too." Paul responds, "First, you come out." Although John warns him not to, his friend trusts Paul and steps out, holding the bag. But as soon as he looks past Paul, he sees Sydney standing there, alive, and freezes in shock. The bag slips from his hand. Confused, Paul doesn't notice Sydney and, in the tension, shoots John's friend dead. Now only Paul and John remain. Meanwhile, Sydney drags the body of John's friend to a tree, pulls out an injection, and begins draining his blood to feed himself. It's then revealed Sydney is a vampire. As John's friend takes his last breaths, Sydney taunts him, "You're just like a dog. Give a dog a piece of meat, and it will fight with its own kind." The only difference here is money. Out of greed, humans and animals are the same. When an animal runs after food, humans run after money. That's why I threw money among you, and you forgot your friendship. From this, we learn Sydney had orchestrated everything as a test, and he had been doing it for many years. There, as John lifts his head, Paul shoots him. Believing John is dead, Paul moves forward to take the bag of money. But John is still alive, and as Paul approaches, John shoots him and kills him. However, John himself is on the verge of death, badly injured and bleeding. At that moment, Sydney appears and offers him his own blood. He says, "This is my gift to you. With this, you will become immortal, you will never die. You humans are so greedy, willing to do anything for your own gain. And now, I'm giving you a new life." Saying this, Sydney takes the bag of money and a gun, then leaves. The next morning, he places the bag inside the girl's car. After a while, we see the same girl walking toward the car, revealing that she was never truly dead. She was immortal. The girl picks up the bag and resumes her work, the same dark game she has been playing with Sydney for years, testing humans, hunting them, and collecting their blood to drink. Soon after, we see two more people who stumble upon the bag full of money. Their eyes light up with greed, clearly showing they will be Sydney's next prey. Finally, we see John, still alive. By drinking Sydney's blood, he is transformed into a vampire, immortal like Sydney. Now, he has joined Sydney in his twisted mission. And with this, the story of the film comes to an end. I hope you liked this movie. If so, then please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more such exciting content. Till then, stay safe and keep enjoying.